Yo,
Hello.
how's it, guys?
Greetings.
I hope you guys are good. Mr. Extraordinary over here. This time around, I'm not alone. I'm with Tebello. Would you just introduce yourself to our viewers, even though it's like 3 people?
It's 3 now. It's going to be 500 in a couple of days.
Exactly.
So, I'm Tebello.
Uh-huh.
The official title is Director General of Khala Corporation.
That's it. So what's Khala Corporation?
Oh, wow. Cue the dramatic intro music. Let's see if I still remember these things by heart. Khala Corporation is a social gaming and comic publication and distribution company,
Right.
which facilitates the functions by means of local area networks and online and paperback publications. Means we make comics and we host gaming tournaments.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. So, yeah, maybe let's start, man. How did you get into comics? Like, what gave you this idea that you should do comics yourself?
You know, when you do an interview, you don't
Yes.
start with a big question.
Dude,
Like, how do I answer that?
I don't know.
How do you answer that?
I don't know. If I was asking myself that question, I'd say it all started when I was a kid. Loved watching, Disney movies and all of that, and eventually I said, I want kids to be as inspired as I was when I was watching these things. So I wanted to do my own things, and then that's how I got to eventually do Extraordinary Studios. So I don't know what happened with you, man. Did you? I don't know what happened. How did you get there?
Alright, then let's start the story because it's a story.
Yeah, sure.
You got time, right?
Come on, I got time. Let's do this.
Okay. So it starts. Well, look, I've always loved drawing. Has always been my portion.
Alright.
Yeah, because it seems like it was the best way for me to try and navigate this world.
Sure.
Because communication wasn't a strong suit. I only started talking when I was 4. I was behind with everything.
A late bloomer.
Oh God, late. Walking I was behind, and walking I was behind. But when it comes to drawing, I've latched on quickly. So drawing has always been that medium for me.
But what got you to hold the pencil, and express yourself like that? Is it just something that came naturally?
It's a combination of both. Cause my dad used to draw. Then I wanted to draw like dad, and then I outdrew dad, and then it just kept going.
Yeah.
So it's that, and then but when it clicked, is watching. Even when I was a kid, like 4 or 5 years old, I used to watch all these cartoons, and I'm thinking, I want to do that. I need to draw pictures like that,
Right.
but I don't know how.
I
And
get
it
you.
used to frustrate me. And funny enough, those things that frustrate you when you're young are the things that could be a sign that you're being called for something.
Right.
Because it's basically the greatest part of yourself telling you that you're meant for this.
Right.
You can
It
do
calls
this.
you. It keeps
Yeah.
calling you. It keeps calling you. Yeah.
So it kept on. I kept on drawing, and I kept on watching cartoons. And funny, the drawing of the cartoons never really clicked. I used to draw animals back in primary school.
Right.
So, like, the most I'd go to be drawing Lion King.
Yeah.
Because I drew lions and zebras in extreme detail
Wow.
to the point where
Without referencing?
yeah.
Just from the head.
Yeah, because it's easy. Even now I can do it like this.
Yeah.
Like when I was bored in class,
Yeah.
time to draw a lion. If it's not a lion, it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex. If it's not a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it's
I mean, those were famous in the 90s.
if it's not that, it's me drawing a lion eating a poor dead gazelle.
Okay, that's dark.
But for me, it was nature. It's like, okay,
Right.
the lions have killed the thing, now they're eating it, and oh no, the hyenas are coming. Oh no, wait, the big male lion is chasing away the hyenas.
So already understood the whole ecosystem and how it works.
Yeah. I think, well, not before what I'm doing today. I most probably would have been into the whole animal game ranging things.
Yeah.
Because I used to see the Lion King, Circle of Life, was like, that's me. And then in came Dragon Ball Z.
Right. So wait, before we get to Dragon Ball Z, you mentioned some cartoons that you were watching before. What were those cartoons?
Wow. What wasn't I watching?
Oh.
I mean, I think recently I showed you the whole that video I sent you on TikTok.
Yes, the mysterious cities of gold.
Yeah, the cities of gold.
Yeah. That's a good one. I want to watch it again, man. The animation is really good.
It gave me PTSD flashbacks. Like, oh no, I'm young again. That's all I do.
Someday you'll find the cities of gold.
Is that one? And I'm trying to think back in my primary school days. Brave Star was definitive.
This is the early 90s?
Yeah.
So there's like Bakamas from Mars. I don't think I've ever watched Brave Star. And there was Lucky Luke.
Yeah, there's one that also very important. Okay. Thank goodness I remembered because my cousins are gonna kill me. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant
Ninja
Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja. Heroes in the half shell.
Me and my 4 cousins used to hang out every school holidays.
Yeah.
And I had the honor of becoming Michelangelo in the group.
He was your favorite?
No. When you're young, you get titles thrown upon you. Yes. Whether I was my favorite or not, I think I would have liked Leonardo. He had swords.
Yes.
But no, you are Michelangelo. And I think, fine, I'm Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So stuff like Kawabanga.
Yeah.
Talking about pizza, like a surfer dude. Basically.
Yes, my dad was Master Splinter.
Of course. As it should be. As it should be.
So it starts there.
Yeah.
And where it really clicked on is that I could usually use this as a medium to create comics and stuff. It's only when it went in grade 8 in high school.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's when it really clicked. It's like, oh, wait. Because we were watching, and ironically, I get into the Dragon Ball Z.
Sure.
Because, I don't know, should I?
Yeah.
Can I tell them this? When I get cancelled.
Uh-oh.
Fuck it, we won't go through that phase.
Yeah.
We used to literally, kids, before you were born, we used to have this thing called VHS tapes, okay? VHS tapes which record, you say, especially there's a record button there, you press record and it record live television. We didn't have streaming back then.
That's true.
So when things happened, we used to record them live, okay? Yeah. Now here's what we used to do. When Dragon Ball Z came, I would record the damn thing so that I would watch them again and again and again and again.
That's it.
Now there's a term for it. It's called piracy. I didn't know it was piracy back then. In my defense, I didn't distribute it. I just recorded it.
For your own viewing pleasure.
For my own viewing pleasure.
At home.
And
not selling it out in the streets.
Piracy is a crime, kids. Don't do piracy.
Don't do it. Yeah.
But that being said, I recorded the thing, and then one day I invited one of my good friends over. Mm-hmm. We had. I think at that point I'd finished recording the whole Saiyan saga.
The whole thing?
Literally, no. Literally from the moment, Nappa and Vegeta arrived on Earth.
Okay, all right. And when Vegeta suddenly has black hair,
yes, suddenly had black hair. I'm like, what the F?
Yeah.
Personally, I think it was an improvement, but still.
Well, it was because I think what happened was because the manga is in black and white.
Yeah.
So they didn't know the color schemes that Akira Toriyama was going to use in future. Mm-hmm. So they just went with. I think they should have consulted him. But anyway.
You know what happened? Well, before I start bad mouthing these companies.
Yeah.
But let me just what happens is that there's a timing issue with all these things. They always have this, especially in Asia. I've sensed there's a lot of time pressure.
Oh yeah.
About get things done at this time. This production date.
Best example is Dragon Ball Super Episode 6, I think.
The hot mess.
Yeah, the hot mess of that episode. The animators are put under so much pressure to release content.
But there are other examples. Have you seen the way they, even though it's a beautiful fight and it's still my number one best fight in all of Naruto Naruto versus Pain, there's some stills that still make memes. Why? Pressure.
Yeah. No, definitely.
The whole squiggly pain face.
If I was to add on to that, I'd say even now in Hollywood, VFX artists are put under so much pressure.
Yeah.
The CGI in these movies look horrible. Apparently the Flash movie that came out recently, the CGI there is horrible, apparently. And I don't blame the VFX artists. I mean, they need more time. As that old man in Toy Story 2 said, do not rush art.
Yeah.
But because studio execs have deadlines that are unreasonable and release dates that don't make sense. Because usually, I think to get great movies, it has to be around May, April. Because I don't know. Because I know Avengers came out, I think April, May, somewhere. Because that's summer for them, right? I think something like that. June.
Yeah, June is summer.
June is summer for them.
Releases.
And then December.
That's winter releases.
Yeah, so your Star Wars or your Aquaman comes out around that time. But anyway, I digress. Yes, Akira Toriyama, you were recording the Saint Saga.
So we are watching that the whole night, like what 14-year-old kids would do.
Sure.
And I think my friend was suggesting, wouldn't it be cool if you had powers like this? Like, what powers would you, what techniques would you think? Yeah. And that really resonated. Like, that's nice. Yeah. How would I look if I had those powers? Yeah. We went to bed at midnight.
Right.
4 o'clock I was awake.
Wow.
People on table. And I was drawing my first comic. I didn't know it was a comic then.
Yeah.
All I just drew myself after leveling an entire city because, hey, I was the bad guy, bitch. And I drew the entire city, buildings turned over, the bus has fallen, there's flames everywhere, I'm posing there, having the time of my life, like, yay! And then the way people reacted was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Did you do this? Like, yeah. And I mean, people were stopping me everywhere.
You know you're doing something great if people are asking you if you did it.
Yeah, at school was like, this is you? In the bus to school, people was like, is this you?
Wow.
So that's when it clicked, I could make something about this.
Did the comic have a name at the time?
It didn't have a name.
Oh, it was just...
The characters had names, and I think if I were to bring those pages up, I think I destroyed them because the cringe would most probably kill me. But still, for a 14-year-old, it was quite impressive work.
Of course.
Isn't it funny? You're an artist, How we judge ourselves from our old work and you look at them now, it's still...
My niece showed me this diary that my grandmother had. So I didn't have exercise books at the time, I think. So I used to draw in those diaries. The artwork, it looks horrible. Even my niece was like, this is cringe, dude.
How dare you?
So I'll probably upload those drawings as we speak here.
It's good to humble yourself.
Yeah.
It's good to humble yourself.
So it makes me wonder how our drawings are going to look 10 years from now.
Oh no, but the cringe doesn't stop. I think we call it cringe now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can get you the clip. There's a line where from Bob Ross, he says he hopes that every artist get afflicted by this thing called terminal or perpetual dissatisfaction. It's because we will always see things that are not satisfactory.
Right.
But the people looking from the outside will see a masterpiece. All we are gonna see, all we see is our mistakes. So even now, pictures that I drew in January, when I look back, it's like there's this one of my profile pictures.
Right.
People love it. I had to take it down eventually because
the one with the guy with the hoodie. I think is the guy on your poster.
Yes. There's another one I made specifically.
That's one of the best, bro.
It's there's one I made specifically for Facebook profile picture, and there's one mistake I need
that you've noticed.
I notice it,
and people have
to this day. Nobody has mentioned it. I can see it all the time,
and it disturbs you.
And every time I look at them, like,
you wanna fix it.
I just wanna.
But I even hear directors. I think Sanishiro Watanabe, who directed Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Space Dandy, Carol and Tuesday, just saying this to you guys, not him. He knows this. Sanishiro Watanabe, after releasing Cowboy Bebop the movie, he says there's some scenes that he didn't like, but he's not gonna tell us what they are. Even Jay-Z said the same thing when he was being interviewed by David Letterman. He said that he wishes that he could have done the lyrics of Forever Young a bit better than he did, or there's some stuff that he wanted to add in but he didn't. So it's like that. You can never be. You'll never be fully satisfied.
You'll never be satisfied. The moment you get satisfied as an artist is the moment you should worry.
Yeah,
you should worry.
It's not as good as you think it is.
Not even if it is.
Yeah.
Even if it is, if
Yeah.
you're completely satisfied and that's it, then
Yeah.
you've reached the pinnacle. It's down.
Yeah.
from
What
there.
what else?
What can you create after that?
You know, speaking of that, you're reminding me of a villain called Vandal Savage in DC. Young Justice, to be specific.
Dickhead.
Yeah. The reason you remind me, it's like he has been a hero for thousands of years. Like he was saving the world for thousands of years, and then he got to a point where it's like, come on, like what else can I do? Okay, let me try to rule it then, because clearly,
Quote unquote, took on Darkseid.
Basically. So
How you won,
Yeah.
Lord knows. Oh no, he didn't win. They just put enough of a fight for Darkseid to think you got potential.
yeah,
We'll be friends for now. That's all.
that's all. But anyway, so high school, you do a comic, people love it. They keep asking you
Yeah.
if you did this, and
Then you think the journey is still going. It's still a jumble up mess, by the way. Don't think
Sure.
that after that I had my epiphany moment, thinking,
no, that's not.
comics,
No.
never. It
No.
was that. Then I'm thinking, okay, I'll pass school, then I'll go study animation or
Yes.
graphics design.
I've
because
been there.
graphics design was the buzzword back then.
Yes.
To my fellow millennials, graphics designers, are you okay? Because I don't hear anything from you guys nowadays. What happened?
Yeah. I'm a graphic designer. I would know. I would know.
I dropped out. Let me not sound bitter. Maybe it's because I'm bitter. Like you're a damn dropout. What the hell do you know about graphics design? Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I, by the grace of God, passed matric.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah. God really pulled through.
No, that was a heavenly hookup. I won't lie.
For me, it was grade 11, not matric. Grade 11 was a nightmare.
Never.
Well, the last term was a nightmare.
Let me tell you, I think.
Actually, the whole thing.
Let me just put it like this: grade 11 was term 1 failed, term 2 failed, term 3 failed, last term passed. That's how I got.
I think it was the same thing with me as well. Term 1 failed, term 2 failed, term 3 passed. I used to pass them third terms, and those were the ones with the lowest marks, by the way. Then term 4 I passed.
Just failed, and then matric. When even the teachers were like, whatever you do, that exam paper, you do not write it in cursive, because your handwriting was so bad, no one could read what you wrote.
Wow.
You know, everybody back in the day was like, no, you must write in cursive.
Yes,
cursive writing,
yes.
but not you. You
Don't.
block writing. I want.
That's like Klingon. No.
Only one. I think there was only one teacher.
Yeah.
My grade 8 biology teacher. She's the only one who could decipher what I wrote.
Wow.
And then she resigned. And,
Oh, no.
and literally, it's just telling like, this is the last time I'm going to be able to mark this.
Oh no.
So I'm
What
leaving.
subject was she teaching?
It was biology.
Oh.
The irony is that the irony is biology is one of my best subjects.
Oh.
To this day, I still know
Is that why you want to watch Cells at Work so much?
because it resonates.
Yeah.
Because the things I know, and now, of course, we've also been jumping in and out of hospital. I know so much about immunology. People are thinking you should study to become a doctor.
Right.
So I'm thinking, make a stop.
You don't make it. Huh?
And I mean, I've got family members who became doctors. And the ghost stories they tell you about the things they met when they like, and like the first thing you have to do with a dead body is like, no, it's dead. There's a psychologist with the students, if you're lucky, I guess.
Right.
They're like, no, it's dead. They touch the body, touch it. Here, come, touch. You see, it's dead. It's not gonna wake up. It's not gonna do anything. And then that's day 1. Day 2, they're busy cutting out, looking for organs.
They're asking you questions. What is this and how does it apply?
No, it's that and police officers. My biggest respects. Because
the stuff they see out there in the streets.
Yes, my one cousin, I love her to bits. She used to be so sensitive. Like, and I always keep teasing her about this. There's this old kung fu movie, The Evil Cult.
Yeah.
And there's this battle scene that's happening there in the movie.
Yeah.
I'll get to the clip if I can get it.
Sure.
And you can see it's basically late 80s terrible CGI kung fu fighting. But still, there's a lot of violence happening there, and my cousin was basically like, woo, no, Jonah,
Yeah.
10 days later, she's a police officer. Nothing phases her. She's like, we're busy collecting the corpses.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
what
the
changed?
deceased. You, the shock value after seeing so many dead bodies for so long.
They prepared her for real life.
You don't. She doesn't feel it anymore. And I'm thinking, where's that innocent little girl that used to go like?
Yeah.
I mean, she watches. She ruined all these shows for me. NCIS.
Yeah.
Ruined forever because of her.
Why? I don't.
Because it's like she looks at them like there's no way that gun has that many bullets.
Yeah, I get it.
And then I clicked like, oh shit, those guys don't have those guys shouldn't have that many bullets.
That's how I felt when I saw John Wick 4, and I saw it recently. I'm like, there's no way John Wick has so many bullets, and he's killing so many people at one time. It makes no sense.
Can you explain to me why people are so upset at the ending?
I think people just want to see John Wick live forever.
That man is old and tired.
Yeah.
You could see it's like, I'm tired of this BS.
Yeah. Even his I feel like his dialogue throughout the whole movie is probably like
I'm too old for this shit.
it's probably like 100 lines.
That's all you could see in the whole movie. All I just said in the movie is like, I'm too old for this shit.
Okay. We're gonna record another video after this one. We're gonna be talking about movies. Yeah.
We'll come back.
So people can get to know you. So yeah.
So after that, the whole stint where I go and try and drop and fail out of graphics design school.
Yeah.
Ironically, because I couldn't disassociate creating something for a client compared to what my calling was to make a story.
Yeah.
So I think I had the ability to communicate that teach me how to tell a story, because I have a story inside me that needs to come out.
Yes.
Instead of make a product for a client, make a logo for this business, make it. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I need to take this thing, it's burning inside me.
Right.
And I don't know how to put it in words yet.
Yeah.
So after that, I dropped out. I worked a bit at the call centers. I learned. I basically became Eisen. So all this, and then it eventually clicked. Hang on, I was at the gym at that time. Somebody else put up the same question because I was now obsessing about bleach.
Yeah.
And back then I didn't have internet here at home. So what would happen is I'd go to the gym, I would work out for an hour, and back then Virgin Active used to give out free internet. They even had computers and stuff.
Wait, they don't do that anymore?
I don't know if they do it anymore or not. In the one I go to.
Because I know Planet Fitness still gives you free
that I used to. Yeah, you get free Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Back then there was a literal computer screen.
Oh, like a mini internet cafe.
But basically mini with all the internet you want. So I'd literally gym, work out for an hour and a half, change, instead of coming back home. What the hell is at home anyway?
Right.
I'll just sit there and catch up on all the Bleach, catch up on all the Facebooks,
Trivia.
So Bleach I was watching Bleach in the gym. So when you're supposed to be exercising, it was like, I wonder what Eisen did this chapter.
Yeah. Oh, you were reading the manga online?
I was reading the manga online in the gym.
Okay.
And somebody brought it like, once again, the same statement. Would it be nice if you had those kind of powers in that one? And then it clicked again. It's like an echoing bell.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how you can do it.
Right.
And a couple of months later, I think I worked on my first sample series of War Angel.
Okay, what's War Angel?
War Angel is my baby.
Okay.
Well, one of my two babies actually. But War Angel STM is a story about this character named Lysiba who inherits the sword of the Archangel Michael, who goes around saving the world.
Right.
Well, saving Victoria for now, but it's gonna. The circle grows
So
as it grows stronger and stronger, because the enemies he faces are also growing at a global scale.
When did you come about with that concept? Which year was it, and what led you to create it?
It would have been around 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, 2010.
When everybody was patriotic. Philly is here. The World Cup. And
yeah. During that time,
and you just came up with an idea that I need to do my own manga.
And I'm the most. I didn't even call it a manga. I just called it a comic.
Yeah.
And the thing about me, I'm the most. I always joke about when it comes to other people who when I learn about how they come up with the story writing process, like, wow, the level of research in detail. I'm the laziest story writer on earth. Because I just said, I want to put every single person I care about into a comic.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Right.
And so the characters are literally my friends, families, acquaintances, people I find interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know, there's a mangaka called Hiramu Arakawa.
Yeah.
She did Full Metal Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
When she did Silver Spoon, that's what she did. She just did a manga based on her life as growing up on a farm, and I think it's about this kid who studies agriculture. So most of the characters in that story, it's people that she grew up with.
Yeah. So it's the same thing.
It's not easy, I guess.
So I just looked at my cousins and thought, okay, you guys, because they're if it's is it no it's being polite. My War Angel particularly is heavily influenced by Bleach.
Okay.
It's a combination of Bleach, Saint Seiya, and
funny enough, Ted Kubo was inspired by Saint Seiya, the artist of Saint Seiya, for when he came up with when he came up with Gote 13.
Yeah. Because they're literally 12 sides of the zodiac, and I changed a bit.
Yeah.
But it's that Sensei. There's one of the kings. What's his name now? I'll just keep forgetting it.
What's that? With the kings?
Yeah.
What about the kings? Maybe I can help you.
It's hard. Oh no, I think it's still Sensei. It's
okay.
A lot of come on.
Different kings. They're fighting each other, or
yeah.
Manga.
It was. Oh, that's not kings at all. Am I so dumb? I only call it king because it used to be one of my favorites. No, it's
okay.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh, Kenshin, yeah. Rurouni Kenshin. I was actually watching a video essay about that. That's actually one of the best manga ever made.
Yes, unfortunately for the creator, though, but who will go to the but still. Yeah. So those are the three influences that created War Angel.
Okay.
And then I just put my friends and family as the character profile. It's like now that people play D&D, like character sheets.
Sure.
If you want to really speed
Dungeons and Dragons. That's what D&D stands for.
If you want to speed run creating characters, just take a couple of D&D sheets and put all these things and fill according to that.
Right.
You'll have your own
as a guide.
As a guide, you'll have a roster in an hour. Yeah. So basically, I did the same thing.
Okay.
Then I created an overarching story. It was like, okay, so what are my friends and family in this universe doing?
How are they interconnected?
How are we going to make it work? How does this thing make sense in this aspect and that aspect?
Didn't that become challenging as you were doing it?
No, because I grew up reading many stories.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on The Lord of the Rings. I grew up on
the books. You read the books.
I read the books.
You watched the movies as well.
I read the books. I read the Silmarillion.
What's that?
The Silmarillion, basically the story about the first age of Lord of the Rings.
Wow. Is it also by Tolkien?
Tolkien. It starts. Okay. I think it got finished by his son Christopher, but it starts with J.R.R. Tolkien.
Okay.
So it's
a prequel to.
It's a prequel, and it's
to the Hobbits.
So detailed.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's no way you can.
You can summarize it.
Yo, I mean, Lord of the Rings, the books we're looking at is like 1,000 pages, and whenever you carried the Lord of the Rings, you felt like you're important at school. And high school, like this. I'm reading this thick ass book.
Right.
For fun.
Yeah. Right.
But when it comes to studies, what the fuck is that?
Studies were not as interesting as the stuff that we were reading. I can tell you that for free. Because at the time I was reading Preacher, I was reading Batman, I was reading Star Wars. Actually what Lucas did is he released books from the films.
Yeah.
So I read episode 1, even though I had watched it. And then I also read a book that was about Han Solo. So after getting out of that, what is Carbonite? What is that? Carbonite, right?
Yes.
He was a bit blind at the time.
Yes.
So he was in jail, and there was this one of the aliens came to interview him. So the entire book is about him being interviewed. It's crazy, and that you don't even see that in the film. In what's this? Revenge of the Jedi.
The genius of George Lucas was in creating all the things that now became legend.
True.
That genius is the way he kept it, it's the way he kept the mythos alive in the hearts of people as things go on. That's how basically at the time 3 movies still became relevant
to this day.
To this day, until he made the prequels.
Yes.
It was those books and the comics.
Yeah.
And some of the we don't talk about the Christmas release.
Yeah, no.
All that is how it kept basically Star Wars relevant to this day. The fans keep the fandom alive.
True.
That's what that's my biggest criticism at things like Gamer Workshop.
What's that?
There's this thing called 40K.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Grimdark for a reason.
Okay.
The hardcore fans will know.
Okay.
And they'll also know why my criticism is leveled at Game Workshop, because they're literally trying to they're literally trying to take the fandom out of the fan work, because for them it's product and market.
Is it a similar approach to what Ryan Johnson did with what's this movie that came out?
The Last Jedi.
Because what he basically did is like he was just basically going against everything that we had known up to that point. Like when Rey was explaining what the Force was,
but
we're like, it's like Luke is like wrong. We're like, what?
But that's exactly what's happening. But Ryan Johnson.
By the way, Ryan Johnson is a brilliant director. Let's just put that out there. He just failed with Star Wars, but some of the movies that he's done in the past, like Looper, it's a brilliant movie.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It's a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
So some projects maybe I think maybe original ideas are his strong suit, but already existing IP might not be. I don't know.
Yes. Let's always remember, Ryan Johnson made a mistake.
Yeah.
He did not do an M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay. Did M. Night Shyamalan do a mistake though? I don't know. I don't have an issue with The Last Airbender. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad movie. I know. I don't think it's a bad movie. But people.
I know that movie is awful. I'm sorry.
What's so bad about it? Is it because he changed the race of each nation?
He didn't change the race. He whitewashed it. There's a difference between that.
Okay, whitewashed it.
I could understand if you're being artistic and say you're going to include the world. We're going to make the earthbenders from Africa.
Yeah.
You're going to make the
firebenders from India.
The firebenders. Well, he made the firebenders from India for some reason, and then everyone else was white.
Yeah.
You know, I could understand if you're saying we want to be more inclusive like that.
Right.
Not whitewash. But then, even in that context, the Last Airbender, you can see it was heavily influenced by the different aspects of Asia.
Right.
And then you can see a whole lot of Inuit tribes, so basically the Eskimos.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Right.
And you can see how delicately tailor-made it is for that, and how even us, all the way in Africa, could connect to that because of how delicately, culturally...
You're talking about the
animated series.
Okay.
Now for you to take that and say, Caucasians. Something.
But is that the reason that it sucked? Is that the only reason?
It's also because the act... I don't know if I'm going to piss off people. It's also the cast he chose was rather weak.
Okay, Dave Patel was not I don't think he was okay, but Dave Patel is one of the best actors we have out there. But he said that one of the reasons he stepped away from these big blockbuster movies and stuff is that he felt like his suggestions were not taken seriously. And I think Dave Patel is more like a hero he's more of a hero than an anti-hero in most of his films. And most of the time, even in his movies, it's like it's just a small part of a big plot. When you look at Slumdog Millionaire, right? Even though the movie was about him, but you could tell that that world was a lot bigger than him. There's a movie in I think it's Hotel Mumbai or something. He was in that movie. He was the main character, but there were so many other things that were happening in that movie out of his character. So I feel like he is more of a character that we sympathize with and rarely hate or love to hate. He's not that guy. So maybe he was miscast in that role. Definitely. But the kid who played Aang for me was not bad at all. I think he was a good actor. Yeah, Aang. I think that's probably one of the things that.
No. To this day, the line that still cringes. Me and my cousins are still cringing at that line. Earthbenders.
Yeah.
What are you doing? That line.
Who said that?
Him.
Really?
In that movie. Haven't I watched it?
I don't remember that line, but
yeah, the idea have a head effect on you. You know that meme. You remember when the Dahlia hypnotizing people?
Yes.
There's a going meme that says that the Dahlia are actively trying to make everybody forget that movie ever existed. So there is no Avatar live action movie.
Speaking of Avatar, okay, before we go back to you, no?
Yes.
People are saying that James Cameron's Avatar films are basically ripping off The Last Airbender because apparently in The Way of Water it's kind of like the Water Tribe. And he's busy working on 2 other sequels, and apparently it might be a fire and an earth. They're like, First of all, you took the Avatar thing.
Yes.
Now it's the Water Tribe. You're gonna be doing a fire tribe,
yes.
And eventually you're gonna be doing an earth tribe.
Wait, aren't they currently the earth tribe people?
Oh, it's probably the earth tribe right now.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. We'll see.
They're going to be the
yeah, the air nomads. Who knows?
No, but. Okay, James Cameron is considered one of the most brilliant directors of the age.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the most brilliant marketers of the age when it comes to the film industry.
Okay.
He knows when to make a movie and when to strike. If you notice, he doesn't make movies like every year, like
no. He usually does releases movies after 10 or 8 years.
Yes, and his movies are meticulously marketed at a specific point in time,
right,
to make a huge return,
right.
So it's that he has a knack for that,
and I think that's why people cannot beat his records.
And more than that,
because
of how well he markets his business,
right.
There's that word that people use a lot. He brands himself. Because of his brand, the story really doesn't matter.
Yeah, because Avatar for me was highly predictable. The first one was like, I know what's gonna happen. I could see what was gonna happen.
White man discovers land of native.
Yeah,
it's basically the whole colonizer meets the tribe story.
And one of the people that were colonizing decided to side with the people.
The natives.
The natives, yeah.
I mean, it's Pocahontas all over again. And then where are the differences?
Right.
There's even a talking tree. They communicate with the trees.
That is true.
This is basically Pocahontas.
I never thought of it like that. Yeah, that's true.
And they commune with nature.
Right.
And I don't know. The only difference is that nature doesn't come up and fight the colonizers.
To add on to what you were saying.
Yeah.
Terminator. I think Terminator, the first one came out in 89 or something.
Yeah.
And then Terminator 2, I think it came out in the early 90s or the mid 90s. I think, let's say Terminator 2 came out 10 years later. John Connor in the movie was 10 years old. So what he likes doing is he uses real time to tell a story, which is brilliant. And I think that's what also George Lucas likes doing. Because I remember when he started with A New Hope.
Yeah.
In his head, he saw a scene from what would eventually be Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I think he saw an older character. I think he saw an older Anakin or something like that, or a younger Anakin. I don't remember. But basically, what I'm trying to say is these directors are so brilliant in using real time to tell stories, because he always saw an older Luke teaching a younger Jedi something, and you saw that in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, we'll go to the stories. Okay, we're talking about Tolkien.
Yeah.
And how you.
So Tolkien helped me. If there's one thing you learn about Tolkien, is how he can build a story. He details everything in excruciating, painful detail in his books. It's one of the things.
Do you think it's always necessary, or do you feel like it's unnecessary at times?
For me, I don't need to, because and that's the thing about realizing late that you actually have ADHD. So your mind is going like this.
Yeah.
So it wants to focus on, let me tell you the cool thing that's happening now.
Right.
So I'll always look for the cool shit that's happening now, and that's why even when I was basically speed reading through these books. Anyway.
Yeah.
So when I tell a story, I need to make sure the things are kind of moving, even if it's stills. Because like I showed you the one page.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of things happening in that one frame because I can't just say, oh, he threw a punch.
Yeah.
And oh, he's blocking.
Right.
Oh, look, he's charging this attack. It
Right.
needs to flow.
Right.
Because my mind, I see the whole movie playing and then I need to still it down into an individual page.
Right.
So I can't go into excruciating detail about that pillar or look at that beautiful vase of
Yes.
that table setting.
Right.
And the artists who do that, I mean, first thing that comes to mind, the details extreme to almost obsessive levels.
Yeah.
Bakuman.
Okay, there's two. It's two of them. There's Shofu Mimura.
Yeah.
No, not Shofu Mimura. Sorry, it's it's Tsukumi Oba and Osamu Tezuka. Not Osamu Tezuka. What's the other one?
Ah, yeah, click. Who made? Why did I forget his name?
It's Death Note. They made Death Note.
Yeah.
They did Bakuman. They did.
You see, you always.
It also starts with a T.
You always remember the artwork. I
So
always forget the names.
Tsugumi Oba is the one who writes
The story.
the stories. He wrote Death Note. He wrote Bakuman. But then the other one is starts with a T as well. I'm sorry, I forgot it. I forgot it, but I'll show the names.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah. Okay, and the other one goes to obsessive detail if you pay attention to the actual manga. Even though don't look at his hands because his hands needed to work. Mm. But the guy who wrote Yugi.
Yeah, his hands need work.
The first editions,
really?
Those first few chapters, those are big ass yaoi hands. I think I'll show you some pictures.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah.
But after that, he really gets good at it. But if you look at the level of detail at the background, the car, the day.
Oh, you mean the artist, no?
The artist,
yeah,
the artwork there, it's extremely detailed. That's like, for me, that's Tolkien next level. Mm. Like when, you know that scene where they showed Pain about to wipe out the city. Konoha, and you can see all of Konoha.
The entire landscape. Like you could see the town planning and everything. You know, the plan of the village and everything.
When I used to look back at those things and I think, when I'm gonna start producing this full time, I'm thinking, I have to make 19 pages a week. Yeah. And then I look at the detail of the thing, I was like, I'm never gonna make it.
Yeah. But they have assistants as well.
Oh, well, I found out about that later. Oh, but at the same time, you have a team of you and your team of your assistants.
Yes.
If you look at that picture, are you telling me you're gonna finish that picture in a week?
No worries.
So I looked at that level of detail and I realized I don't really have to compete. I just need to tell the story.
Yeah.
Like last year we had Comic-Con, you know,
yes.
what Bill said on the panel.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better just to start, even if it's bad.
Even if it's bad, yeah.
Just start.
Yeah.
Because we need them to start now.
Okay, let me ask you a very important question, which I'm also guilty of, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the problem with artists is that we strive for perfection, and that delays in the process of us getting our work out there.
Yes.
So how long has it taken you to work on War Angel before you even released anything online or anywhere?
Okay, now the first publication, you see, it's also a combination of when the news hits.
Right. Because it's different times.
Because when it hits, I can go burn out.
Yeah.
Which funny enough is called hyperfocusing.
Okay.
Look it up, kids. Anyway, so when it hits, I can go for days, hitting it, and then produce a chapter, and then after that, I'm too busy putting out all the fires I created while not paying attention to my other things in life.
Yeah.
To get back, and then I've got burnout. I'm tired. I don't want to touch this thing. And then when I'm editing it, I get frustrated. It doesn't look the way I want it to. So it's always that competition between getting it perfect and getting it done. And I'll always remember a line I learned. I forgot the source now. But it was either one of the lectures was speaking about something Tolkien said regarding Sauron.
Okay.
The character Sauron.
Yeah.
Sauron fell to darkness not because he wanted to destroy the world or something like that. He wanted to make it perfect. He used to be one of the angels that saved the craftsman Vala Aule.
Sure.
And he was one of the best ones they had.
Right.
His name in the law is Myron, which means the admirable.
Okay.
Right? Because the things he
'Cause
created.
I know he has a brother, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a brother?
Technically.
Okay.
They're all related technically.
Oh, okay.
So the Myron was called admirable because of what he created.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to create things in order and
Yeah.
in perfection.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So things that didn't seem perfect frustrated him.
Mm.
And he was attracted to the power of the original big bad guy. His name is Malcolm Morgoth.
Okay.
Basically the devil.
Yeah.
But the devil in all the most horrifying aspects.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And he was attracted to Morgoth's ability to create, to impose his will on everything to make it the way he saw fit.
Okay.
So he thought if he could get that ability to manipulate things to make the way he sees fit, everything would be perfect. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But the curse that brought down Sauron was his desire for perfectionism. And that's what I always care. Was like, I must strive to improve myself, yes. But I mustn't be caught in the lure of being a perfectionist, because that will make me just as bad as the great I.
Right.
So that's what I use as an anchor to say, good enough is a good enough.
Yeah.
Heck, I've seen, not to badmouth some people. I'm not gonna name names, but I've seen people's artworks on Instagram.
Right.
That in my mind I'm thinking, it's not that good.
Yeah.
But I can see that the level of fierceness and determination and how he's like, hey, this is the shit that I'm thinking. And here am I doubting myself with my work because I see all the mistakes. I don't see all the good things. And I'm thinking, this man is proud of his work.
Yes.
Which I can see all the mistakes he's made because we're in the same industry. But
the likes and comments are probably crazy.
You're like, oh, okay, then what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I hiding myself?
Right.
The world is given to idiots because the idiots speak the loudest and the wise just the wise just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Let me be an idiot and make a noise myself.
Yeah.
Maybe we might make a world a better place. Who knows?
But I think those years that you took to even get this thing out there helped, because you gained knowledge, you became wiser, you learned a lot of things, what to do and what not to do, how to introduce characters.
There's this thing from Positive Intelligence that says everything is either a gift or an opportunity. So even circumstances that are bad, and there have been bad ones, it's a gift and an opportunity. You just need to learn how to tune your mind. It sounds a whole lot of new agey shit because some things are terrible, let's be honest, but still. Yeah. But if you learn how to try and gear your mind, that's like, I put it as like tapping into the force. I'm becoming a Jedi. Seek always the force in all things. Like find the thing that makes this an opportunity. Because you fall into panic. So all the time I've wasted, all the times aimlessly trying to fit into a world that I really don't fit into. All the times I've been in corporate. Because I worked in corporate. I'm a corporate baby. I've been in the halls of, I've sat with CEOs, I've sat with national sales managers and executives. I've been in all that, and instead of using that thing of saying, oh God, I'm in the wrong people, I've wasted years of my life working in this thing, I took what they taught me. Right now I've structured, and that's how I realized, okay, what we have here in this country is we've got a whole lot of talent, but we don't really know how to market it. Then here I am. I've literally worked in the marketing field. I've got a diploma in marketing. I know how to. I know how to sell. I know to sell how to sell soil. Soil in a desert. And why don't I just take those things and apply it to this thing that I love
in your business?
So that's what I've basically been doing. And yes, it takes long. It's like, I call it like you're charging a spirit bomb. It doesn't happen as fast as you want to. If you want the spirit bomb to whiff, you can shoot it now. If you want it to land, then you need to give it more energy, and it needs more time. But at the same time, you figured out, okay, this is how I can market it so that it can be attractive not only to the investors, which we don't need, but to actually create word out to the people that need it the most.
to the audience.
I don't know if you've ever spoken to you this about this before. Is that the big disjointment we have in the South African comic and manga and gaming industries altogether is that we are not really communicating to the market that needs it.
Let's get into that, please. What are the issues that you think we have in this country?
Well, the one thing that we need to understand is help is not going to come from outside.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say this. I'm not trying to be a fearmonger and say, "Oh, woe unto us." You know, I look at many of these people saying, "Okay, we need to attract investors. We need to speak to X, Y, Z."
Like you have to be on Shark Tank or something.
We need to be on Shark Tank. We need to be
on Dragon's Den
and all these things. You know,
right.
We need to be pitching it in front of people. And I'm thinking, those people will not understand the vision as well as the people
100%.
The people where you came from.
Or they might have issues with your storyline and they will not change it to how it benefits them.
They'll mold it to how it profits them.
Yeah.
People, and that's the saddest and the most dangerous thing about creators is that when you create something, you're literally putting a piece of our soul in something.
Right.
And then when somebody comes and says, "No, change it, do this, do that," it's actually just saying that you, who you as you are right now, are not enough.
You're not enough,
Or you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Or you're not attractive enough.
Right.
What you've created, that thing that came out of you,
ain't
it. We don't need it. And and as much as you learn to disassociate it, it kind of still scars.
Yeah.
Because somebody who can come and say, "Let me improve your story," is something far different from, "We don't like this, change this."
Right.
Or make him bigger. Or make him smaller.
Yeah.
Change his legs.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? He's the wrong race.
Yeah.
Like, why does he have, we're in Africa. That name,
it's not an African name.
It's not an African name.
It's not
Make a character who's more African.
Right.
Like, I mean, somebody literally told me, it's like, "Guys, you're in Africa. Why are you giving a black man a sword from a white man's religion?"
I've heard stuff like that before with my characters.
Like Saint Michael, the Archangel Michael is an angel, but he's from that religion that's from the colonizer. So why are you giving him that? Why are you giving him a colonizer's weapon? And
so clearly that's the wrong audience.
Yeah. So for as much as they have a point, I'll never discredit anyone who comes in with a different opinion. Yeah. The truth is, you need to be able to acknowledge that it's your story.
Yes. And you're going to tell it the way you want to tell it.
You need to tell it the way you want to tell it.
Even if it sucks.
Yeah.
You told it the way you wanted to tell it, yes.
And then, taking from that, your story, you need to learn how to defend your story and give it to the people that need to hear your story the most.
Right.
The people who need to hear your story the most, you will not find them.
Anyway.
At the Shark Tank, at the whatever. They've got the multi-million sitting in high as heaven, sipping on champagnes and calling Bo Bonang at the weekends for a kiki. Life from them, but your story about the soccer player who wants to join the National League, basically Super Strikers, or your story about how you want to become the next Hokage or whatever. That story you're telling it to the people who live in Mamelodi, who live in Hammanskraal, Atteridgeville. They live there. You need to be able to find a way to tell the story to those people. When enough of those people can hear your story, then suddenly Mr. Investor from on high suddenly wants to invest because there's a need. Because it's reaching the people that it needs the most. Right. That's my argument about that. There's a big disjointment. There's, as much as I love anime and manga and comics and everything like that, the fact that I need to go into a taxi from here, we're in Pretoria North, and I have to go to town, take another taxi from town to Menlyn, to go to Exclusive Books, to go buy manga.
Yeah. Or a comic.
When I live all the way here in Pretoria North. Now, how much more the person who needs to know about the story who lives in Soshanguve, do you think they're gonna say, "I'm going to spend 150 rand buying a book for fun"?
About a guy with a sword.
About a guy with a sword for fun.
So there's there's truly a disjointment. There needs to be more information regarding this industry.
They also needs to. What we need to do, solely need to do, is bridge the gap. We shouldn't be sending our books to mainland. We should be sending our comics to
straight to the consumer.
Straight to the consumer. Don't worry, I'm here.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the issues that I've had over the years is that comic book artists are seen as people who have a hobby.
Yeah.
They don't see comic book artists as people who are doing this for a living. But thanks to YouTube and other platforms, people have started to take this a bit more seriously. Thanks to people like Kevin Feige, Bob Iger, because Bob Iger obviously bought Marvel.
Yes.
And Kevin Feige having a 10-year vision of Marvel and bringing people like Captain America, who we've been reading for years, into film, and people like
the funny thing is, I used to hate Captain America.
Really, I never hated him. I liked him.
I used to like watching the show. I'd rather watch Spider-Man than Captain America.
The show, the animation show.
The animation show.
When Captain America goes, "This my issue."
With the red skull. I'm like, oh, buddy, so annoying.
Right.
Oh, goodness me.
Right.
Funny enough. So I never really liked it, but now that I watch Avengers and I'm looking back, I can see, okay, he's actually a linchpin in this thing.
Right.
We couldn't really have the Spider-Mans, the X-Mens,
Yeah, because basically what made Marvel what it is today is the first comic book character that they came up with was either Captain America or the Submariner. I think it is it's either the Submariner, Namor that we see in Black Panther. He came before Spider-Man was ever created, before the Fantastic Four ever came. So it was Captain America, it was Namor, and it was the Human Torch, the original Human Torch, not the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four, but the Human Torch who was an android. None of those were created by Stan Lee. But then in the 60s, Stan Lee started with the Fantastic Four. By the way, how he came up with the Fantastic Four was because of the Justice League. This is why I always say DC should never try and copy Marvel, because when they do that, they stay away from... They're the pioneer.
They're just diluting themselves.
And I think that's why they're failing with some of these movies, because they're trying to be like Marvel. And DC should never try to be like Marvel, because when they do, their stuff really sucks.
Yeah.
But when they try to be themselves and do what they do best, their stuff is great. Look at the stuff that's out of the DCU. The Batman, Joker, the Dark Knight trilogy. The stuff that it's not within a cinematic universe, and it's not a multiverse or whatever. It's great.
But okay, I don't know if it's going to be controversial or not.
Sure.
But I'm going to just counter that.
Yeah, please do.
Saying, if then you wanted to copy Marvel, then go all the way.
Do it well. Do it exactly how they did it.
Because
start with the solo films.
Because and I always told you about that story years ago of how I could have fixed the Justice League movie.
Let's hear it, please.
Didn't I tell you this before?
You probably did, but some of the viewers here don't know.
Like, just do what they did in the Avengers. You don't introduce a new villain. You just take an established villain and put him back as a linchpin to introduce you to the big bad guy of the MCU. So in this case,
Joker or someone.
No, Joker is a good Batman villain.
Yeah, but he's not a good Justice League.
He's not a good Justice League villain because I kid you not, the moment he starts cracking his first joke, Wonder Woman will chop off his head off.
That's true.
That's true. There's no. Oh wait. And I know, and I know if it ends up on TikTok, the guys are gonna come after me and tell me shit, and I'm going to yell at me. But still,
but it's the truth.
But it's the truth. Wonder Woman doesn't have patience to deal with the mental psychosis that Batman deals with. Batman is both the most hardcore, arrogant son of a bitch, also the most forgiving and most patient hero I've ever met. At some point, there must be a breaking point in saying, you know what, you need to go.
But that's why the Red Hood exists, to do what Batman cannot do.
I still can't believe that fact that in the Red Hood comics, literally a teenager chopped off all the second command's heads of all the gangs. And that's how it starts. Okay, it doesn't start, but that's what happens. And that's still a teenager, and he can't be headed. All the second in command gang bosses.
Which comic is this?
It's the Red Hood.
Because I know there's a webtoon out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Red Hood comic out. And then I know there was a.
I'll send you the links.
Under the Red Hood. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the links. I think because I don't remember. But all I know is decapitation. Teenager.
Because I do know that he wanted to rule Gotham, but Black Mask was already ruling Gotham at the time.
So
yeah.
So he wanted to like. He's like the necessary evil.
Yes.
So you be criminals, but if you don't cross this line.
Yeah.
If you cross this line, I want to come and kill you.
Right.
That's Red Hood.
But anyway, I digress.
Come back.
So who would have been the villain for Justice League? Who should have been, rather?
Who should have been in the MCU?
No, in Justice League.
In the Justice League,
DCU.
in the DCU.
Yeah.
Farrah L.
Pharaoh L.
The one who kept on saying to Superman, "You're
weak." Yeah.
Yes, she. Perfect.
You know I have a crush on that lady, right?
I'm not surprised.
It's called Clash.
She's not the main villain.
Yeah, she's like the lieutenant, right? The second in command.
She was the second in command.
Yeah.
She kicked ass.
Yes.
She was methodical, clinical.
Yes.
You could
tell that she had training.
You know what? Evolution always wins. That line is like, even me, take me.
Yeah.
Like I was ready.
Yeah.
But she's that villain that if you were to introduce a bigger threat, instead of getting her sucked into that big negative zone, phantom zone, right? Yes. So what did you do as a product? Say, okay, phantom zone, boom chip opens, takes the people out there, Darkseid terraforms, mind fucks them like crazy. Makes her one of his furies. And then sends her to Earth.
That would be interesting because that would also, I think, I could be wrong, it would have also introduced Big Brother.
Yes.
Because Big Brother now would have to intervene.
Yes.
Because Big Brother is under Granny Goodness.
Yes.
Who is an underling of Darkseid.
Exactly.
So there's a hierarchy. So there's Darkseid at the top, and there's Desard, there's Granny Goodness, there's who's this guy?
Stephen Wolf.
And then with Granny Goodness, she is in charge of these warrior ladies, and Big Brother is one of them, right? And Big Brother is married to Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle is the son of Darkseid, I believe. Yes. And then anyway, yes. So she comes to Earth. Yeah.
Remember, she's a former Kryptonian, so nobody's she's a Kryptonian, so she's not going to be as weak as any run of the mill. She's as tough as Superman, right?
Yes.
So she comes
tougher. Basically.
She's tougher because she'll be mind fucked by Darkseid.
Yes, and she has more training.
And she has more experience.
Yeah.
So she comes back. She whips Superman's ass. Okay. The other heroes realize, oh fuck, we need to work together.
Yes.
Wonder Woman comes. Wonder Woman will do what Wonder Woman does. Yeah. Start working on Big Brother so that they will start working together.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, the strong woman in this planet.
Right.
And then as they're slowly working on each other, all the other heroes are coming together to stop this woman. Superman, Deus Ex Machina, he comes back. They eventually beat them, but then upon beating them, they realize, wait, somebody else is out there. There's a big guy
who's
tougher than her.
Yeah.
We need to work together and get and prepare ourselves. Just like what Thanos did.
Yeah.
The Avengers was like...
But the Avengers, they had no idea about Thanos until Infinity War.
But it was already inferred. Thor asked Loki who controls the would-be king.
Right. And the Guardians of the Galaxy already introduced us more to Thanos.
That's when we saw Thanos.
Right.
And then we didn't really connect that he's looking for the Infinity Stones. We just thought, oh, we have the Tesseract, unlimited power.
But the comic book geeks already knew.
Oh, the comic book geeks. I'm just talking about if we dumb ourselves
audience,
down. If we dumb ourselves down.
Right.
So what would happen in the DC version is, as they're busy fighting, just like they did in the Snyderverse, they discover, wait, anti-life is somehow connected to Earth. Like it leads to anti-life or something like that. So it's something that Darkseid would want. He wasn't looking for it years ago or something.
Right.
Or even if they did say, okay, Darkseid came back before. The other thing they should have done was make the Darkseid the Sauron of the universe. So tough that it took all the combined efforts of the heroes of the generation to push him away Not beat him. Just boom.
Yeah.
We sealed him there.
Yeah.
He can't find us.
Yeah.
If this breaks down, we are screwed.
Right.
It's coming back. But so many of us died. So many that.
I think that would have been great because you would have also introduced the Green Lanterns because obviously they have to protect their sector.
Yes.
And you could introduce more than one Green Lantern. You don't have to just limit yourself to Hal Jordan.
And of course, we also have to store the Scarabs would also be included because they are also heavily involved in the intergalactic wars.
Right.
Would also realize that the Sinestros, that you could build more villains. That's how you create 20 movies because then Sinestro would then get kicked out of the core, finds the yellow core, somehow make them ally with Darkseid.
Right.
In a way, for Sinestro is just trying to use people so that he can impose his new world order and things. Darkseid is just trying to get back to Earth. Maybe Sinestro figures a way to get Darkseid to Earth in exchange for getting the yellow core. Something like that. Call me.
You just made me realize something very important.
Yeah.
So Sinestro is kicked out of the core, the Green Lantern core.
Yeah.
The Green Lanterns, they're empowered by willpower, right?
Yes.
The Yellow Lanterns is fear.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make it so like they could hide themselves in plain sight for years. How? Sinestro teams up with Scarecrow from Gotham.
Look at that.
So he uses fear through the fear toxin to bring about fear to the world for like 2-3 years. Just like how we were afraid of the pandemic. So they do something like that. So man is now afraid. Now heroes need to step up. But some of the heroes themselves are afraid because they've been influenced by
the fear toxin.
Then now that's when you need the Green Lanterns. You need the willpower. And then you need people like Batman, you need Superman, you need... So, look, this can go different ways.
They should call us. Detective Comics, we are here, call us. Okay, right. We will write this thing for you. We'll work a very cheap price. The dollar to the Red Exchange is very reasonable. We won't ask for a lot. Just call us, we'll write the best stories.
Okay. Clearly we're gonna go into the movie section. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this episode. This is just me making sure that you guys get to know some of the South African artists that we have out here, and there's a lot of talent, like he said. There's a lot to explore. There's so many people who love comics, who love anime, who love cosplay. You see that when you're visiting Comic-Con. And this is one of the people here.
Well, we were there together.
We were there together last year, by the way. So I just wanted to introduce you to this man over here, Tebello Khala from Khala Corp, right? And I hope one day you will get to witness his beautiful work. All Angel St. Michael, and the other one, what is it called?
The other one is just called Legends.
Legends.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about the gaming part yet, but maybe we'll talk about it in the future. But yeah, this is Mr. Extraordin, and I'll definitely see you guys on the next video. Alright, cheers.
Peace.